Okay, so the top 10 priority list that the council adopted after that meeting is right here, with the exception of number 10. Number 10 came on later, just for your information. But the first 9 were what came out of that meeting, once they put everything in a category. But you see what number 1 is. Number 1 was flooding. What was told to us was that if you don't fix anything, you got to fix that flooding. So that's what we did. So I can tell you, in working Jen's back there for 2 years, we worked with agencies to develop this thing you see here, which is our comprehensive flood mitigation strategy. 2 years worth of work. We met with them. It was a grant that was funded, and it was led by FEMA's BRIC, Direct Technical Assistance Team. So this was a group of stormwater engineers, coastal scientists, and we met with them every other week to come up with this whole strategy that you see right here. All of these folks had input into that. So this is not a project that we just got off the cuff. This was from the Nature Conservancy. They were in our town, and I know they had a whole advisory committee that worked with them. We had the EPA here who was helping us, the Maryland Department of Emergency Management, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the DNR. All of these partners that you see on the screen have been a part of coming up with this project that is to help Crisfield address their major flooding issues. That's what you see here on the screen. That's the project. So if you look, and this is what I want to call your attention to. My little laser won't work on the screen. Is that right, Tiffany?
Correct.
It'll work on the ceiling, but when I get to the screen, it doesn't work. But if you see the purple line, you guys see the purple line, that's Chesapeake Avenue. Most of you know where that is. So, because the project was so large, and it could only be funded for $50 million, FEMA's team said, let's break it into 2 parts. Let's do a southern part of Crisfield, and let's address the northern part of Crisfield. So what you see from the purple line down, that's the southern part of Crisfield. That's one grant all by itself. And so what we're talking, thank you. And then what we're going to be talking about tonight, that grant right there was $36 million. Help me, Jen. Wow. $36 million for just that part. And I'll tell you in a moment. We actually submitted that part with that team of engineers to put that together, and it was the #1 application in the nation for that grant. So God did that. That's what that was all about. The top part is the northern part. So that's Chesapeake Avenue going up. When we submitted that one for review, we had FEMA leadership coming down here. We were poised to get that grant, but that's when the program was canceled. So tonight we're here to decide if we should take the money that we need to resubmit that application because the requirements have changed. So let's talk about that real quickly. I'm still going the wrong way, but work with me. Okay, all right. All right. I just talked about the 2 phases. So here's what I want you to know. In December of 2023, that's when we put that application in. In July of 2024, that's when we were told we were awarded as #1. In March, we also put in the northern one, the one I just told you that we didn't get funded for. We put it in for review. But if you can see, that was in March. And on April, that's when FEMA canceled that program. So that program was canceled. And so they never reviewed that application. Are you guys with me? Okay. And then this year, March the 18th, that program has now been restored. But, yes, wonderful. Wonderful for the southern end. And let me show you why. So for the southern end, they told us you don't have to do anything else. You were selected. We're just waiting to see how we process or get that funding. We don't have to do anything for that $36 million. We don't have to go back after that. But the one that was not reviewed was the northern one. That one we have to resubmit. Because it was submitted but not reviewed, the state, they contacted us. And they said, are you interested in continuing this process? And we said, of course. We really want to continue this process. Then, when we looked at the actual new application, things had changed. So while we had the second application worth $35 million, Jen, $35 million, the problem was it was a phased application, and in this new requirement, you can't do phases, and instead of a $50 million cap, which is we were within, now they're saying you can't apply for nothing more than $20 million. So we were just planning to resubmit our old application at $35 million. That's what we were going to do. And it would not have cost us anything because we already had that application designed. But we have to re-engineer that application to reduce it down to $20 million. And so FEMA brick technical assistance, that's no longer available. Those stormwater engineers and those coastal scientists and stormwater engineers, they are no longer a part of that program. When they brought back the brick program, they did not bring back the part that's called direct technical assistance. That was a free part where they did all that work that we don't have money to do. They did all of those studies, all those feasibility studies, all the engineering, all that benefit cost analysis. They did that, but they are not there anymore. So now what are we going to do? Okay, so just like I said, the original program was completed by stormwater engineers and coastal scientists. They're not there anymore. So our project has to be re-engineered. We got to reduce it to $20 million, and then we have to, which means it's not going to include the whole northern side anymore. There's no way we can do that for $20 million. So that means we're going to have to go again at another point. But it will get us, we want to at least get the $20 million that we can get of that northern project. But we don't know where to draw that line. We're not engineers. Those people are not available. So now we have to hire somebody who can help us get there. And that's kind of where we are right now. So they're going to have to reduce that scope. They have a new benefit cost analysis. It's really technical, and they have to do a technical feasibility. It's a big deal. So it requires specialized technical assistance that we just don't have. It's just not here. We didn't have it the first time. We don't have it now. So what did we do? So, Jen, we had a conversation, and we were able to find at least 4 different firms who had this type of expertise. And so we said, okay, can any of them help us? I think I might have skipped over the part that says, not only in the new plan were there changes, but it's due on May 22nd. Anybody know what today is? Wow. Okay, so now you understand why we said this is an emergency. Because when we got this thing, we didn't know that was going to be the case. We did not have any idea. So now here we are. So we found 2 firms that were really good. The other 2 said, I can't do it in that short period of time. It's just not going to happen. But there were 2 who said, I'm very familiar with this type of work. I've worked with it before. I've worked with FEMA. I understand it. And one of those firms, both of them were highly recommended. Balance Hydraulics and Tetra Tech. Those are 2 firms that said, I can do this for you in the time that you need. I understand what it is you're trying to do, and they said they can do that work. And so what it would cost us, as you can see, is about 10% of the grant. That is standard for any grant. I know that. It's about 10% of the cost. And normally, if you try to give somebody something like this that late, they're going to charge you double what they would normally charge. So these firms, this is an amazing value for us to be able to do this. And so our research and communication says it is definitely something they could do it. This is something they've done before. Okay. All right, so why am I saying let's do this? And so I just wanted to put out some of the thought processes that we've had because of what we've seen. We know we have a flooding problem. It has not changed. It's changed a little bit, and I am really grateful for all the work that's being done. But we can't keep just band-aiding our flooding problem. What you see here is a comprehensive flood strategy. And basically, for those of you who aren't really aware, if you see these blue lines going around, what this does is this creates basically a seawall around our community. But it uses existing infrastructure. So roads that are in place, they'll be raised. And I thought, geez, no, you won't even hardly notice how much. But they'll be raised enough to address the flooding. So there's raising some roads, and then it's also elevating some of the bulkheads that you see around the water. And it's also, if there's no infrastructure there, then it's actually we're going to put berms. So we'll make sure that there's pretty much a wall around the whole town. This is a comprehensive flood mitigation strategy that's going to be put in our comp plan, right, Jen? It's going to be like we'll have a tab that says, this is a comprehensive flood strategy for our town. And so what I said is we have to start moving to that. We have state and federal partners who support this project. Like I said, they reached out to us and said, are you going to do this again? They support that, and they're expecting us to apply. They're expecting that we're going to apply for this money. And if we do not, it's going to say to them, they don't need it. They must not need that money. That's what that's going to say to them. That is $20 million. And I think we need it. I do believe we need it. So and not only fixing this as a comprehensive plan means that it's the best opportunity for us to attract new businesses and jobs. One of the things that I hear all the time, what I hear people say all the time is businesses don't want to come here because they They want to know their property is going to be protected, and they want to know their workers can get to work. Yeah. So as far as the businesses are concerned, they want to see, investors, developers, they want to see that we are trying to address our own problems. So they are looking for us to do this money. So the program funding, I've heard, let's do it next year. That might not be there next year. Did you guys see what happened this year? It may not be there. And this, even though it doesn't get us all the way, because I told you it's 20 million, we'll have to do it again. But guess what? They'll already know we're ready. That's right. And so this gets us much closer to our end goal of protecting our entire city up to 5 feet. Sandy was 4 feet. So this will protect us up to 5 feet and through the 100-year storm. So that's what this whole comprehensive flood strategy will do for us. Oops. Absolutely. And so we are best positioned right now. With all the exposure that we've had for this, we've had newspaper articles and we've had news outlets, we've had a lot of exposure around this. And like I said, the state leadership, the federal leadership, HUD was here just yesterday, and they are behind us. They know people at FEMA. Everyone's trying to help us rise. And that's what this is about. We're not starting from scratch. That's the issue. So our chances of success are good. But let's be careful. Nothing is guaranteed. This was not guaranteed when we began this process. But I know we have a good project and a good plan. Because the same people who did the one that was rated #1 in the nation, they're the same one who did the basic design. And the basic design will not change. So we were selected as a #1 application before, so we know it's good. And it's the same team. And the bonus part is, Jen told me this, I didn't know, but if we get this award, we're eligible to get 90% of that $20,000 back. So we're eligible to get that money back. So, how will we fund it? Where are we going to get $20,000? That's the rub. I think everybody probably agrees. I don't think there's any disagreement on council that we need to be able to do what we need to do. But the question is, how do we fund $20,000? Because we don't have a lot of money. And we understand that. But we also understand how high the stakes are for our city. And so what we're saying is that we have a budget that ends June the 30th. That's pretty soon, right? Okay. So we know that right now, because we had ARPA funds that we use for our ditch maintenance, this project addresses ditches, and it addresses our stormwater issues. And we have right now $10,000 left in the ditch category, $10,000 left in the stormwater category. So that money is there. That money is there. Right now, our ditch maintenance activity is currently being funded with ARPA funds. That's the reason we didn't have to go use that money, because we had ARPA funds to do it. Right, and since and guess what? And since those ARPA funds that we have, and I'll tell you how much in a minute, but those ARPA funds, they're not going to be used up by the end of the year. So we don't need to go and take this money and use it for our ditches. These funds are only available through June the 30th. So this project aligns directly with that funding and is the best use of that money. That's what I believe. But the question has become, and I want to answer the questions that everyone has said to me, because they're valid questions, and I understand them. The first thing someone said, well, let's just fix some more ditches. Well, I just told you the reason why. But for folks that don't know, we allotted originally $100,000 for ditch maintenance. We hired a contractor, and they are working on our ditches. They still have $71,000 to spend. And so we don't even know if that's going to if they're going to be able to do all the work. They've already identified $32,500 worth of equipment and labor. But that still leaves another $40,000 to spend. So we know that contractor is a hard-working contractor. I know he's my classmate. And he's already working hard to get as much stuff done as he can get done. He's working on cleaning out ditches, fixing tide gates. He's doing all of that stuff. He's identified several areas. And we also have a director in-house, Brian. When we hired him, he jumped right into the ditches. He started cleaning them out. He's doing a lot of stuff as well. So we have work that's going on. So we can't realistically spend that other $20,000 in a month. It's just not going to happen. So it makes sense to use it where we can use it. The Eastern Shore Regional GIS. That is an organization out of Salisbury University, right, Jen? Is that where they're from? Yes. They did a big ditch mapping project for us. And they helped us to understand why we have so many problems when it floods. Because they showed us what our ditches look like. And I'm going to show you in a minute what they showed us. The Army Corps engineers, they have been here several times. They are right now in the middle of doing a detailed flood improvement plan. I'm trying to get them to come, but they have to get through their management. But they have a whole list of things that they know we can do to help improve our ditches. But their work, even the Army Corps engineers, their work builds on the work that was already done. So they're using the concepts from our flood mitigation strategy. But the bottom line is this. I need everybody to know that we are serious and we are working on our ditches. We know that that's an important part. But here's the thing to understand, Jen, educated me on this too. Even if all of our ditches are cleaned out, even if all of our ditches are okay, when they fill up to 1.75 feet and they overflow, guess what you got? Flood. You got flood. So the ditches cannot be our sole source of fixing our flooding issues. So that's why it's so important that we continue to drive to this comprehensive flood strategy by spending that $20,000 to apply for that Northern Mitigation Program. This is what our ditches look like. This is what the Eastern Shore Regional GIS showed us. You see that green to the left? You see all that little clusters of green? Everything in there is a ditch. All of that's a ditch. They look like little teeny clusters. And guess where a lot of them go? Nowhere. A lot of them don't even go anywhere anymore. This is what our town was built on, a ditch system. And this is why we have so many issues. They highlighted that for us. And so we're trying to figure out how to address that issue. Is that me? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is another one that came to me. So, okay, well, you need to take that $20,000 and fix our wastewater treatment plant. Well, I'm here to tell you, I wish $20,000 could make a dent in our wastewater treatment plant. I wish it could. But I want folks to know this. Much of that wastewater treatment plant equipment is more than 20 years old. And you said the plant is more than...
The plant was started when I was 16 years old over High Plant. I remember when they built it.
A long time ago.
So I'm 72.
It's 16, an old plant.
56 years.
It's an old plant. And these problems didn't just start. All you hear is... The only reason you know about all these problems is because I tell you. They were not always brought out. These problems are not just started. The previous administration spent $1 million replacing the 1936 sewer. Wow. And my head is off to them because they put that money aside to fix that issue, but it was the same issue. We still have problems. We still have sanitary sewer overflows. That's what they were trying to fix. But this isn't a problem that just started. This problem has been here all along.
Yes.
Moonshot Mission is another organization who's helping us with our wastewater treatment plant. They completed a detailed assessment and told us about all that old equipment, what we need to do, and what we need to fix. And we've been meeting with them and MDE to put that plan in place. We also had our in-house engineers, and then we had an engineer from Sussex County, Pete Prada, hats off to him too, who came out to look at our wastewater treatment plant. Bottom line is, we've applied for $7 million to fix that wastewater treatment plant. The last piece of equipment we bought was $200,000 for a sand filter. So $20,000 is not going to do anything to that wastewater treatment plant. We need big upgrades and we need to work on them. So that's basically it. We need to apply for that grant as a long-term solution. Because the part I didn't mention, a lot of the problems at the wastewater treatment plant, guess what they're related to? Flooding. The flooding. A lot of those problems are also related to the flooding. So we need to fix that for that too. Here's the last one. That everybody says, take the $20,000 and fix your roads. You need to fix roads. Yeah, we need to fix roads. I take that as a legitimate concern. These roads are horrible. Promise you, they didn't just get horrible either. Come on. They didn't just get horrible, okay? They are horrible. They have been a major problem for a long time, but that's no excuse. It still has to be fixed, and that's our job. But let me tell you, $20,000 won't do it. We just spent $95,000 just to do that little section of Somerset Avenue that we just did. $95,000. But we hear you and we agree that the roads need to be fixed. I'm going to work with my buddy Todd to see where they got that Pocketbook money. Because we're going to get money to fix our roads. We're working to find that money with federal and state agencies. We've been, State Highway Administration, they've been really good at telling us who we need to talk to. So we are in talks. We are going to find that money. The reality of it is, to date, we've gotten, Jennifer, I took that number and ran with it, about $16 million in grants. We will find that grant money. Those are your tax dollars. When folks say grants have issues, grants have restrictions, they are absolutely right. But guess whose money that is? That's your tax dollars that we're bringing back here. That's your tax dollars that we bring in. Because if they don't come back here, guess where they're going? Right across that bridge or somewhere else. We are going after every opportunity that we have the capacity to, because that's your tax dollars. And we want to make sure they come back here to Christmas. That's what they're for. And we've proven we can get that funding, and we will get that money. So finally, the last legitimate concern was, why here we are at the last minute trying to approve something. And I understood that. But I have lived in this grant world for 30 years. Where before I got here on my other job, I wrote proposals and things like that. And I can tell you, that is the grant world. That's just the way it does. That's just the way it works. Our grant administrator just finished one, 3 days. You had 3 days to get it done, right? She got it done. Absolutely. When we, the city, release proposals out there, we don't give folks no more than 2, 3, 4 weeks max to be able to respond to us. That's all the time you get. You are presented an opportunity, you either are poised to apply or you miss that opportunity. That's just the way the grant world works. So whenever we apply for a grant, bar none, we bring that to council, and council makes that decision as to whether or not we can move forward. We have never tried to move forward without bringing that to council for a vote. The way this worked this time, they called us, they asked us if we want to continue, we said yes, they sent us the document, we realized the requirements had changed, we met with the agency, the Maryland Department of Energy, Emergency Management, to see if our new approach was feasible, because it couldn't be phased. So this is no longer a phased project, it's what's called design build now. And they had to tell us if we could do that. And once they said we could do that, we had to say, okay, is there anybody who could help us? And as soon as we got that information, we brought it to council. So in this instance, the next council meeting is not until May 13th. We could not apply for a grant on May 22nd if we came to council next week. It just was not going to happen. So when we tried to get this through council in an emergency session, and rightly so, they said, okay, well, I want public input on that. So now, and here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are. And here we are. But I needed you to have an informed decision before you do that. So my request to the council is this. As the mayor, I do not get a vote. So I'm requesting council approve to spend the $20,000 to contract with Balance Hydraulics for engineering support for us to apply for the $20 million Northern Flood Mitigation Project. I was looking for it, Jim, but at the end of the day, those were the two. I did have the two amounts. One was $19,000 and something, and then the other one was $21,000 and something. And so those were the two. We can put them back up when council gets the vote, if you can find that, if they want to see it. But that's really why we're here. And so now we want to open that up to the public. And so the public will get an opportunity to stand up, because we don't have space. You can just stand up and just, if you agree, don't agree, or if you have something you want to say, you will have 2 minutes. But before I turn that over, what I'd like to do is just to review quickly the applicable law for how we conduct ourselves in the meeting. So the applicable law says disruptive behavior at public meetings may constitute a violation of Maryland Criminal Law, Article 10-201, which states that a person may not willfully act in a disorderly manner that disturbs the public peace or prevents the orderly conduct of a lawful assembly. This includes behavior that interferes with the ability of the meeting to proceed in an orderly and efficient manner. So the expected conduct says all attendees are expected to speak respectfully and follow established meeting procedures, wait to be recognized before speaking, observe the time limit during public comment, which is 2 minutes for us, refrain from interrupting others, follow directions given by the presiding officer, which in this instance is myself. So a council will have their time to do discussion once you guys have provided your public input. So if anyone is willing to speak, now is your time. Yes. Could you state your name and where you live?
My name's Corbin. I stay in the projects. Truthfully, the water, flooding, without taking care of that, nothing else is going to follow. We need that done. That's been a long time.
Absolutely.
I mean, a long time. And then behind Sandy, that was paranoid. That really scared me.
Absolutely.
That was really scary.
Absolutely. When we had to get evacuated.
That was terrible. But, I'm down for seeing us progress.
Thank
it's
you.
home, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now I have to get to see.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Could you stand up for me? Would you, and state your name and where you live?
My name is Samuel Ward. I live on Chesapeake Avenue. And my concern is, okay, I heard you talking about fixing roads and stuff like that. But what is the purpose of fixing the roads until the water is?
That's true. Yeah, it does matter. Thank you. Absolutely. Uh-huh.
Troy Ward. I stay on Davis Lane, right off from Chesapeake.
Okay.
And I have one of the biggest ditches that did flood. I've even showed you, told you. But I want to say you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. To God be the glory.
When those dishes go up, you see how it comes out in my yard. And we're going to have those dishes cleaned out. I believe if we get those dishes cleaned out, it's going to be better for me and my living with my dog, my animals. And I have another property on Main Street, which got a ditch and it floods. So we need to get these dishes cleaned up. That's all I got to say. We need that money.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Barkley, I did see, and I apologize, we'll recognize you as soon as we can.
Okay, I'm Elmer Barkley. I'm live on 28 Asbury Avenue. And over the years, my property has flooded from, I even have pictures here to show you over the years. To start out how it used to be. Also, over the years, it gotten worse. And it has almost destroyed the property in back, where the trees and everything are dying. And I think it's really, really important to have this done, because I have put my own money in there to raise the land. I've put floodgates, which I had to take out because I said, the county says I'm in, wetlands, and that has been a problem. But this is really, really important for everybody that is affected by it. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley, thank you. Bernard?
I'm Bernard Ward. I got property in Chrisville, so I can speak. This all needs to be done. Don't wait for this $20 million next year or the year after, because if something might happen, we lose that. While we have access to it, that should be the priority for Chrisville, for everybody, black and white. Get this first, that $20 million, that $20,000, use it. 10 from each place, use it, because if you wait down the road, it might not be there. So while we had the opportunity to use that money, it should be used for what you need.
Thank you. Stan?
Yes.
Your name and where you live?
Stan Rayford, and I live in Chrisville at Captain's Galley. And my thinking is simply this: when you look at the math and you think that we are constantly trying to have investors from the outside invest in Chrisville, it seems to me reasonable to allow Chrisville to also invest in Chrisville.
In itself, and that's what they're looking for, yes.
And when you look at it that way rather than an expense, what you have then is that you're investing $20,000 to gain $20 million. If I'm an investor, that's $1.
That's a
to
good
gain
turn on,
1,000.
that's a turn, good return on investment. ROI, yes, good return on investment. Thank you, absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, anyone else? Billy?
Sorry, I have my grandson.
That's fine.
He
Yep.
wants me to go in the other room.
That's
So,
fine.
sorry. So, you take this 20,000 out of the ditch fund, and you're not guaranteed to get the 20 million. I went to a casino this weekend, and I had 20 bucks in my pocket, and I didn't know if I was gonna get it back or not. It's real simple math. You table it to next year, so that we can put it in the budget, $20,000 in the budget, you keep the money for the ditches, and then you reapply for the loan. It's real simple math. You don't have to figure out all this stuff to figure out how you're gonna get this money. You got 14 days to get an engineer company and Jennifer Maris to pull it all together in hopes that you get $20 million. It's like going to the casino and gambling. That's all you're doing. Thank you, I'm
You're
Bill.
welcome. Yep,
Bill
yep.
Chandler, if anybody don't know me, I'm running for mayor.
Thank you.
And I'm the mama because I live in Chrisville.
Okay.
And we do have some flooding every now and then, but as she was speaking, it's a chance you take. Everybody's a chance, anything is a chance. Life is a chance. When you walk out your door, you're taking a chance whether you live or die, whether you drop dead or whether something happens to you. And I feel like we need to get it done now, because tomorrow is not promised to us.
Good evening,
State your name
Vanessa Jones.
and where you live.
I live on Tall's Drive, which is off of Hall Highway. And my property backs against the original floodgate, which no longer works. So therefore, I have a vested interest in this. I would like to see it done. And we need it done because it's not just where I live, which it does flood. I have up to 9 inches of water on my porch window.
Oh, wow.
That's how serious the flooding is in my area. So this is a good thing to do. Don't just put it off till tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised.
Thank you. Yes, anyone else who would like to speak? We don't want to leave anybody out.
I would like to say something. I'm Tony Jackson, I'm on Richardson Avenue, and I'm listening to this presentation that you all had. I've heard everyone what they stated. But when you begin to look at 20,000 versus 20 million, too long, Chrisfield has always kicked the can down the road. We kept kicking it. We kicked out now. I'm turning away now. So let me see something done before I leave here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Gina?
I said I was gonna be still, but I just can't.
To God.
I heard what the young lady said about using the 20,000 for the ditches. You explained in the
Yes,
grant
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
that $20,000 is just a drop in the bucket of fixing the ditch situation. So to me, it would be a terrible thing to lose the grant and still not fix the ditch situation.
If you don't have no one else. I don't think, years ago, when Lawson was there, mayor, I don't know how many of y'all were around here or came to those meetings, but I used to come then. Lawson got $18,000 to fix the streets from Broadway all the way back to Woodson going on down here. That money was spent, but it never did fix any of the streets. So now we have an opportunity to spend $20,000 to possibly get 20 million, which is very much feasible, should be done. Do it now, because if you don't, you table it, you'll keep tabling. You keep tabling, nothing will never happen. So what needs you to do, and I hope your panel, your council will go along with you, and say, we're gonna put this $20,000 in to get the 20 million.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, yes. Your name and, yep, thank you, and where you live.
Okay, I'm Leslie Lingle, I'm your neighborhood watch, and I live on Myrtle, and we've been here for 13 years. And we've watched the flooding, we've watched the things on. Mark was the Army National Guard, which he did come here during a couple hurricanes and help out.
Oh, wow, thank you.
So, you know, we love it here, this is our home. I know you're working on the ditches, ours never been cleaned out. So, on the bank side of this, 20,000 is like a down payment to try to get more. You know, and if you don't do it, and you keep tabling it, what are we gonna do? We're at a place now that we're at sea level. We have to fix it. We have to try.
Time's
And
running
if we
out.
stop trying, we're gonna go underwater.
Time's running out.
So, I agree, thank you.
Thank you. Chief, was there anyone else who wanted to speak in the other room? I don't want to leave anybody out. Was there anyone else who wanted to speak in the other room? I don't want to leave anybody out. No one else wanted to speak? Okay, well, this will be council's opportunity for discussion. I know Councilwoman Johnson just went into the restroom. I wanted her to be able to be available for the discussion. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that she will be just a minute, and then we'll give council opportunity for discussion. We have one more who'd like to speak?
I think you have one more.
Oh, yes, tell them, yeah, we're good. That's not me, is it?
They're
Your
talking.
video is in there, so it might be an echo.
No, they're talking now, that's not.
Are they talking?
Whatever they're saying over here, we can't hear.
Okay. Okay, come on in. Come on in. Thank you very much. And just your name and where you live.
Pearl McCready. And I was born and raised in Chrisfield. I loved it so much, I stayed away 40 years, I had to come home. And now I'm home, and I'm hurting every day because the Chrisfield that I grew up in is not the Chrisfield that exists today. And I'm still trying to understand who was in charge of Chrisfield and allowed us
to get here,
to get to this point. And I'm saying, I came home and the mayor put me at a table with some engineers who were in charge, supposedly, of making sure that these floodgates were working. And me, with my no knowledge of engineering, needed them to explain to me, how did you continue to get paid, but none of the floodgates were working? So I'm saying to mayor and city council, when you start this new phase, please fire some engineers if it's not working. I don't want to hear that EPA didn't allow them to do this, and EPA wouldn't allow them to do that. Then you needed to have said something to our government so that all of us knew what was going on, not let us come to this point. And I'm listening, and like I said, I am not the expert with this. I need to do some research of my own. I now realize it. But I'm saying this, if we all don't come to a consensus of what needs to be done. Yes. I heard someone say, we're going to be inundated with water, and I don't swim too well. So I'm saying to you, Mayor and City Council, please get these engineers in here who get it on point with EPA and get these floodgates fixed. Once you fix these floodgates, I hope that our water quality is going to be what it is supposed to be.
A lot of work.
But I mean, with my little knowledge of engineering, I know that we may improve the water quality this much, and then it's not going to be another 20 years before it's going to be nothing again. So anybody with some common sense says, oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying that if you want us to go, I want us to go back to the Chrisfield that I grew up in. If you want us to continue to progress, then let's get all on one accord and only take steps that keeps us moving forward and not moving back. And I'm gonna sit down.
Thank you. I think I saw one more. I think they said there was one more that wanted to say something. Okay.
Hello.
Your name and where you live, please.
Robin Rayford. I live down at Captain's Gallery, condos. And I just start, please go for the grant. I'd love to park my car every time I try to go home. It's low to the ground. Sometimes the water's up and really can't even park there. But I came here to say that in this room, 15 people are supportive of going for the grant.
Mr. Freely?
George Freeland, I live on Chesapeake Avenue. I've been one of the strongest people in this town about the flood situation. We have a flood problem that's just getting worse year by year, destroying everything we own. I can't tell you how many lawnmowers and everything else. Okay, and our cars and whatever. Whatever we can do to move this city forward, to stop this problem, we need to do. And the only thing I would like to say, with our drainage system, I hope we have a system that the city is doing. From what I keep seeing, we dig patch quilts here and there. But we need to start at the bay and come this way to clear the system so it can get out. There's no sense in digging here and having a hump there that doesn't get out. That's just for a local thing, not for this, but it's one thing we have to do. You gotta start from one end. I've been involved in drainage system as a living part of my life, and that's what I did. And we have to start at one point and keep it running, and then sometimes you have to flush it back out to keep it clean for so many years. It'll work and function. With a floodgate, it does work. And one of the things I say is we need to put a screen on both sides of that floodgate to keep debris out. You have a fine one near and a farther one out, a more coarse one, to keep debris, because no matter what you do, a Coke can gets in there, a bottle gets in there, you're gonna flood. And later on, I know we don't have much budget, but when we know a storm is coming, we should try to get one of our city workers, have a check also that we went and looked at floodgates and got as many, make sure they're clear to work, to stop as much flooding as we can. And I'm all for getting our flooding fixed. No matter what it takes.
Thank you.
I've introduced myself in 1976. I worked on the CEDAR program. And the reason why we were hired with a crew, we were the ditch crew.
Okay.
And it was, when I say ditches, I'm talking about sedges this high.
Wow.
Snakes running us out the ditch. We went in there with hands and holes.
Oh, wow.
That's how we got it done. And at the time, they had little machinery that would help, but we used to take the grates up, clean them out every week, dig them out, then we had a thing to flush it out.
Was that here in Chrisfield?
Right here in Chrisfield, but something went down wrong. But biggest problem was that the pipes have been there so long that they collapsed. And everything's all up in there.
1936.
That's what the big problem is.
Thank you. And thank you everyone who came out tonight. We definitely appreciate it. We're going to allow council to have a conversation, and they'll have discussion at this point, and then we will get a vote tonight. So I'm going to start with council and let them have whatever discussion. I'm going to open it up since we have all council here in the room for anyone who wants to have a discussion before we go to a vote.
I'll start. Okay, so I think there needs to be a lot of clarity on behalf of council. So this council is the council that proposed this project. None of us up here are against this project in any way, shape, or form. I want to be clear about that. We all suffer from the flooding. You know, part of the requirement of being up here in council is to live in the city. We all deal with this. We all see it. What our biggest problem that I have currently, okay, is we're going to hire an engineer firm to come in. 15 days, 20 days, however many days, and they're expected to put out a product that we're not going to know about, okay? In the conversation we had in the last meeting, Jennifer Merritt told us that more than likely the project's going to be cut in half, about $20 million. Cutting that in half, I think Jen was the one that estimated it, looks like we'll run it to Hall Highway. So that's great, right? Except, Miss Vanessa, that puts you on the outside. So we don't know how that's going to affect you. That's what I'm scared of, okay? It's not the fact that I don't want to fix the flooding. It's not the fact that I'm against applying for $20 million. Trust me, grants have fed my family for the last 4 years, and I'm thankful for it. I am. But at the end of the day, I'm worried about what we don't see with this project. We're hiring an engineer firm. I don't believe we've ever used them before. Have we, Jen?
We haven't used them, and I could say, I believe that they could probably give a presentation at the May 13th meeting, I would think. I mean, I can't speak for them, but I think that's a possibility.
But then we've already spent the money. That's where I'm getting. Then we've already spent the money. Okay?
They come highly recommended, so we know that they have.
Which I'm not disagreeing with you, but we know as council that we've hired multiple, well, at least one, we know the doc, that They came back with products that didn't represent what we thought Chrisfield was, and we had to send it back. That's a fear of mine right now. I don't want us to get bogged down and apply for something that we don't know what the end result's gonna be, and then us have to look at the federal government and say, we don't want this now. My argument has always been from the beginning to wait until this next budget season, which we're in, have the money there and go instantly to the engineering firm, say, develop this project for $20 million.
No.
I understand.
I apologize, public input is over, so please allow council the opportunity.
The reason
to
why I'm
express
saying that is because how do we look at the people that currently are gonna be on the outside of that border and on the inside of that border and say, wait 2 to 3 more years, the project will be there for you. We need to cover their ditches now, we need to dig the ditches too. We can't take away from this ditch fund. It must be used for digging ditches, and I understand what the mayor says, and I agree with her, because her and I have had multiple conversations about how frustrating it is to get ditch digging permits, to try to get contractors at this point to dig ditches. It's very hard, but we as council budgeted that money to dig those ditches. We can budget the money this year for the engineering purpose and go forward. That way we know the proposed project. We're not just throwing something at Chrisfield blindly saying we have to accept this. Because if we were voting on that project on that board right now, I would support it 100%. Because I have faith in that project. We talked with the engineers directly about that project. There's no question that that project will work in my mind. But this one, we have no idea what we're looking at.
And I do want to make sure I thank you, council, and definitely I understand what your issues are, but I want to also be clear, when you say that you're going to be outside of this project, I promise you, if we don't go for this, you're already outside of this project. That's not going to change, okay? You're going to stay outside this project because we're not going to be able to go any further than Chesapeake Avenue. So what we're asking tonight is that we get further up, so that the next time we can get even further up. So I want to be really clear about what we're saying here. So yes, there will be people outside the project. Everybody's outside except anyone from Chesapeake Avenue down. So I want to be clear about what it is that we're asking here tonight. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we do realize that there is a risk involved, but we also realize that the ditch money, and people keep talking about that, but the truth of the matter is we right now have $70,000 that's not going to be spent, so we're not going to spend this money on ditches because there's nowhere we're going to be able to go and get anybody to spend this money at this particular point. It's just not going to happen. So I understand that would be wonderful. You guys saw the ditch map, if that was realistic, but it just is not realistic. June the 30th will be here, and that money will be sitting right there. When that money can be used for a ditch proposal and a stormwater drain proposal, and there it is. It's right there. Let's keep going.
My thought is $20,000 in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of money. We are spending as much money as we can to dig the ditches right now. And like Mayor said, if we're not going to be able to hire anybody with that $20,000 during this budget period to dig any more ditches than we already have budgeted for. So to let that money just sit there is irresponsible on our part. When that money can be used to try to get more money. $20 million is a lot of money. And whether that $20,000 just sits there and does nothing or goes towards this engineering firm in order for us to keep moving forward with this flood mitigation thing, it's a no-brainer to me. I sat in most of those meetings for the first half of the flood mitigation down at the library, down at the museum. And the team of experts that were there, you couldn't imagine the amount of work that they put in to get that first grant through. And they've already got it set up so that this second grant, which, was before they budgeted the cut, was already in line to go through. So just cutting that in half is just saying that, okay, we can't complete the full project, but we can complete some of it. So if you have $20 million or 20,000, I keep saying 20 million, 20,000 just to sit there where we can't use it during this budget period, I'm saying that we should use it in order to further this flood mitigation thing. This is one of the reasons why I even joined the council, is because of the infrastructure and flooding in Chrisville. That's one of the only reasons I got on this thing. And I've been passionate about it ever since I came here. So I think we should keep moving forward. I think we've done a great thing so far. We're on the right track. And by telling the government right now that, hey, we don't want that 20 million that you got up there, we're fine with what we got. We're gonna go with what we have. Who says that 20 million is gonna be available next year? You know, I know there's no guarantee that we're gonna get that 20 million, but there's no guarantee that that 20 million is gonna be available some other time. So instead of just letting the money sit there and do nothing, I say we put it to use.
And if we don't do it, the reality of it is, the guarantee is that we will not get it. Okay, there's no guarantee we will, but if we do not apply, there is a guarantee that we will not. There's absolutely no question about it. And to think that this engineering firm or any of these engineering firms that are willing to help us right now, and they know the short period of time they have, but they have done this enough to be comfortable that they can take, because we have such a good product, that they can take that and turn that around that fast. And to think that we can do this next year, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. We don't even know that that firm's going to be there or that firm's going to be willing, and they definitely probably ain't going to do it for $20,000. I promise you, that's a gift. That's a gift. It should be costing us twice that at least at this particular point. So that's a gift. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. There's a lot I could say in regards to where we are. And I guess the first thing I would say is, how do we get here? How do we get here? And I don't mean just this particular meeting. Ms. Pearl got up and spoke about the Chrisville she grew up in. And I believe everybody in this room and in this building knew the Chrisville that we grew up in. And we've seen multiple administrations, after administrations, after administrations, after administrations that did nothing. So we finally, blessed with this group at this table, administration that's getting something done. Now let me piggyback on where we are with this grant. This grant was an application for $50 million. That was the cap, $50 million to get one of these projects done. Mayor explained in her presentation how it all came together. The engineers, BRIC, all of those organizations, and they came up and did this for us. The first phase, $35 million. Second phase was done. The second phase, we wouldn't be here tonight. The second phase was done. It was approved. Then administration came along in 2025 from the federal side, the executive side, and they shut it down. Mayor stated it this way: FEMA closed the program. No, FEMA didn't close the program. The Karen administration closed the program. Froze it. Okay, we've been fighting. The mayor's been working hard with the senators, local, state, and federal, to get the $35 million back for phase one. It's favorable again. We get the call that phase two is also favorable, but you have to reapply because the engineering of it has to be redone. And the grant is capped now at $20 million. So we would have to do this phase two and phase three in two different phases versus phase one and two. This is where we are. Now, I've been here 6 years, and this ain't the first time that I've been called for an emergency meeting. That's just what it is. The mayor's not trying to get, when she calls and to everybody says, hey, I need to meet, this is the reason why. Time is of the essence, right? Now, we wrote the #1 grant in the nation. Let me explain something to you. We're not the only town that's flooding. They're flooding all over the nation. The airport in Florida flooded. So we're not the only town that's flooding. We're just the town that's trying to do the right thing and get out of the flood zone. This would get us, as far as the engineer, look, I'm not an engineer. The engineer says this would get us out of when we have a hurricane or immediate flooding, where it's just not going to come in and inundate and push us all around and then create all the chaos after the fact. So let me say this. I read on a board today, a campaign sign. And this man said he was running on common sense. I thought that was right unique. This is common sense. And we wrote the #1 grant in the nation. And got it. And Mary didn't give you all of it. And then they were going to model Chrisfield as the leading city for the nation in the process. Now we brought in the experts to complete this for us. I feel strongly favorable. We're going to get the 20 million. Because guess what? If we don't get it, hold it, let me tell you. If we don't get it, somebody else is. This is not one of those things that when people say we might not, somebody's going to get these grants. Because that's what the money's allocated for.
And they want to give it away. That's not an issue.
They called us, we didn't call them. So it's a no-brainer. I appreciate everybody that came out. I appreciate everybody that spoke. But it's a no-brainer. And it's time for us to, as Mr. Pearl said, the consensus to come together.
Yes.
Don't you think we'd fix streets if we could fix them? We've been trying to find the money. This mayor here, she's not a part-time mayor for $78 a week. She's a full-time mayor.
Yeah. Right.
She puts in 40, 50 hours a week. We should be commending her that she's leading the charge. I mean, listen to me. I thought I was smart enough to sit here, but sitting beside this girl. I'm not trying to swell her head, and I'm not trying to be political. I know we're in a campaign. I know we're in an election season. I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. And we will be voting tonight to get this grant. It's just that simple.
God's got it. God's got it. God's got it. Councilman Patel, are you a councilman?
In the courts.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, either one, doesn't matter.
First of all, let me thank you. I thank our administration for fixing that road that they said was fixed for something else. Because I was tired of hitting that little pothole going to Woodson every other day. I don't care how much I tried to avoid it. I hit it. I was so happy to go that way this week and not hit that little road. And so one of the bus drivers thanked me. So, well, I'm going to say this. I've sat here for a long while. And I think some of you feel like, I've sat here too long. But I can truly say this, I've served under 4 mayors. And I can tell you, I watched this mayor, I'm gonna go there. I helped sign off on a grant for $3 million with another mayor. But this lady, as Banks said, that went elsewhere because it was administered by somebody else. But now she's sitting here and she has a chance to do what I'm seeing being done under this administration, which has never been done in Chrisfield. We've used grant money for a little bit of everything, including laptops. Something as minute as laptops. And I think this administration has moved this city forward more than I've seen sitting here in the last 4 years with grant money, because we don't have the money. I know, and I know, like $20,000 might seem like a lot, but we got to start somewhere. I mean, my concern was why you're having this input, because I wanted public input, because my concern was about going around the Hall Highway and going back to Chesapeake Avenue, which a lot of people were saying to me, what about our streets and roads? But if you paid attention to the presentation that she did, this is the truth, and I do believe this, that $20 million is not going to be there next year. So I don't think we should wait. That's just the way it is. And I can truly say that I feel proud to be sitting here out of these 19 years and feel like I'm being more productive than I've ever been. I mean, I really do. And it's not putting any of the other mayors down. That's not what I'm saying. Times change and things change. If grant money is what we need to move forward, that's what we need to do.
Yes.
I have more than that to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Can we go back a couple of slides?
Where are you trying to go to? She'll know where to go to. Where are you trying to go to?
So somewhere it said we found out about this grant, or we got the information back or a package back on the March 4th of 26 to reapply for the grant.
No. That's when it opened up again. Go, you can go back. No, we said that's when it opened up. Go back again. Keep going backwards, 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 backwards. There we go. That's the only time. That's when the big FEMA brick program was restored, March 18th, 2026. That's when they restored the program, period. That's not when they open it back up for any applications at all.
When did they open it up?
They just opened it back up. They gave us about a week or so before I came to you guys. Yeah, a week before I came to you, because we thought we could reapply just with what we had. It was not until after they told us about it, they sent us a document. We read the document and realized that all the things had changed and we needed to do something different. That's it.
And the cap was the big change, am I right, Mary?
The cap was the big change, but also the fact that it could not be phased. So now we had to come up with a new design. Jen thought we couldn't do it, right? I said, well, what about what we normally do with other projects I've been on? It's called design build. That's what we're doing for the village. Why can't we do design build? So what did we say? Well, let's see what MDEM says. So then we had to schedule a meeting with MDEM. We had to talk to them and say, is that something that's really feasible? And then they said it was. So then we said, okay, well, is there anybody out there who can do this work? So yeah, space of a week.
And engineers gonna be able to do this within 12 or less than 3 weeks?
Both of
For
them
$20
are already
million
looking at what they're doing, yes. Both of them are already comfortable.
$20 million project, are we rushing it on a short time, or?
Please make, yes, and that's a good question. So I'm not saying it's not a good question. Please understand this. The project is a good project as it stands. They have all the, no, but what I'm saying is this. They have all the documents that were used to submit the original project. So we're not starting from scratch. I want to make sure you understand. The issue is we're not starting from scratch. All we're doing is saying, okay, how do we re-engineer this to reduce it from 35 million to 20 million? So we got to take out $15 million. It's a lot of money. But the bones of the project, all that's still there. They have those documents because Jen, you sent them to both of them, right? So they have all they're not starting from scratch. These are professionals and this is what they do. So yes, if they could not do it, they would definitely have told us it was not possible. And the folks that we talked to come highly recommended. They said this is what they do. Yes, they can do it.
So, you see how it was presented to us with more details today, way more details in the slides and stuff. When we had our Monday meeting, all we had was one little slide and a little map, right? I would like to see more details also in the future. Like if there is something, it helps us understand things better. Well, it helps me understand things better. Because that day all we had was some lines, we need to change the amount, and a map.
Right.
That
So
were
understand.
not more details.
Yeah,
and I get it. And I'm not the person who is gonna look at small 5 bullet points and decide on a bigger thing. That's
Right, but you're on council, so let's be clear, and let's be clear. I understand what you're saying. And if you need more information, to say to me you need more information, I'll give it to you. But let's be clear. What I'm giving out here tonight, I was giving really to the public simply because I know that they haven't been here. But this is not new stuff. I do this with you guys every time we're going through the whole process. So, I mean, I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying. I took them all the way to the back and brought them up to this place because they weren't there.
I was not on the council when you guys did the northern side part of it.
The southern part.
Okay.
The southern, yes, southern.
Okay.
So when you explain or give some documents, it helps, right? It helps understand the whole details.
And I'm always, yes, and I'm always willing to provide that.
5 bullet points and, you know, a map or whatever.
And if you ever say to me, I need more information, I promise you, you can get that information. That has never been, what I've been guilty of is too much information. That has been that's what's come back to haunt me over the past 4 years, is the fact that I don't try to withhold things from the council. That's not something I've ever done. I specifically provide more information, I know, than most administrations have in the past.
I never been.
You got that right.
I can't speak.
And I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying that if you need information, all you have to do is ask for it, and I promise that I will give it to you.
And it's on important things like this. I personally feel we should have public's input because it's their future way more than us. And I would like to, and thank you all. I would like to see you guys come to the meetings like this all the time. Because there are, and since day first, I have been begging people, come to the meeting, put your opinions up. If you don't, guess what?
They don't get hurt.
Once it's voted on, you can complain all you want. It's over with. And it's always good if people are here. We understand you voted for us. We can make a wrong decision, right? That you might have a different opinion on it, you might have a different view at it. Me personally, I would like to hear from people what their thoughts are, right? I believe it's better that way. So if you guys can come up in the future like this, every meeting, second and fourth Wednesday, I think that would be way better to move city forward.
Well, I was saying to the mayor, I forgot to mention, one of the other things is, it wasn't brought up tonight, but being sitting here as a council, and I can tell you 19 years, this is the first time, if you look at Facebook, those of you that have Facebook, I shared it today, Charlotte Scott is doing a project, and with what we need to do, it wouldn't make sense not to apply for this, because we have $313 million projects invested in this city for the first time ever. And we need to do whatever we can to move forward. And that's another deciding factor. And I agree with, he said, I'm glad to see you all here, because this presentation and what we're doing shows you what we've been doing forever. I've been doing it longer than everybody else, and I said for the first time, not that I don't feel proud, but for the first time, I really feel proud that I'm doing something productive, and I might be making a difference. And I'm not saying that to put anybody else down before me, but this is a big deal. $313 million, guess what? If we get a third of that, that's better than nothing at all. We might not get $313 million. Some of the projects will fail, but I want an investor coming, because I'm part of the Investors Day project, coming and say, oh, you know what? I'm going down and see what's going on, because they're getting ready to get some money, $20 million to address some of the flooding, and they got $313 million invested. I'm going to see what I can do for Chrisfield, because we need that. We need that. You know, we can't, like he said, we might make some wrong decisions, and we can't do everything ourselves. We need all the help we can get.
Okay, council, any more comments before we go to vote? Any more? Okay. So God be the glory. Again, I want to thank you guys, Councilman Patel, everybody. Okay, so what we need is, can you put the request back up, which was the last thing, basically. What we're requesting is that we are able to apply for, let me go. We're able to apply for, okay, requesting that the council approve us to spend $20,000 to contract with Balance Hydraulics for engineering support for us to apply for the $20 million Northern Flood Mitigation Project. That's the request. Can I get a motion?
Mayor, I make the motion that we spend the $20,000 to get the contract to move forward with the Northern Flood Mitigation.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain there.
You can abstain.
I'm gonna abstain too.
Okay, so we have three yays and we have 2 abstentions. The motion has passed. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Hold on. I do apologize. Sorry, I do apologize. Protocol, and I am out of order. So we need to have a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.